Welcome everyone to Haven of Horror. We are playing Doom.
Are we?
Maybe if OBS will cooperate.
Ready to start blasting?
Oh, I started blasting. Oh.
Have you ever played this game before?
What's a video game?
Oh my god.
Jesus, this is getting out of hand. There's 3 of them.
That's not the line.
No, but there are 3 of them.
That's like saying spinning is a good trick.
Frames, hold on. Frames fix themselves.
Yeah, it's looking good on the YouTube so far. Hello, anime fan in the live chat. How's it going? How about you try shooting them with your gun?
That's a neat trick. This place is fucking killer on my frames. Damn it. You feel excited for Avengers Doomsday? Not until I see it, like a trailer. I'm not immediately excited because they cast 80-year-old Ian McKellen.
Yeah. Those are the 2 that I'm kind of whatever about, are Stewart and McKellen, just because they're so old.
Well, the Patrick Stewart one doesn't mean anything anymore. He keeps coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if this is, like, truly the final send-off, because I know somebody posted about, like, oh, you know, it's 2014, and I'm seeing a send-off of the X-Men. It's, you know, 21, I'm seeing a send-off of the X-Men, etc. You know, I don't feel like a lot of the Fox X-Men ever got a proper send-off. So if this could be a proper send-off, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad you say that, because it's easy to look at those retroactively and say, oh, Days of Future Past, it was such a good ending, or oh, Logan was such a good ending. Like, Logan was an ending for Hugh Jackman, sure, but neither of them were intended to be the ends of this franchise. We got X-Men Apocalypse like less than 2 years after Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it's like, do you really want the Fox X-Men universe to end on dark fucking Phoenix.
Right. Oh my god, we have Doomslayer in the live chat.
Oh my god.
We're playing your game.
I'm a big fan, Doomslayer. Fuck!
No, it's probably not gonna matter either way, but what I think could be cool about them bringing those actors back. One thing that Deadpool Wolverine did that I liked, that I think worked for that movie, was okay. We're not retconning Logan. We're not stepping on that. This is a different version of Wolverine that Hugh Jackman's playing. Okay, fine. But there's at least speculation that these actors for this group of X-Men are seeing this movie like, no, this is literally the Fox X-Men, like post Days of Future Past. This is a continuation of that. They're not just random versions played by those actors. That could be kind of neat, especially when Logan, when you think about it too long, doesn't really work as a literal follow-up to Days of Future Past. Like, there are those continuity things that don't line up. So if this is a literal...
Hugh Jackman will be... Like, I buy that for, like, James Marsden and the like. I feel like Hugh Jackman is going to be the...
Right, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
But also, I don't know, like, I've wanted this since I was a kid. Hugh Jackman's going to get to interact with, like, Iron Man and Spider-Man. Like, when did we become so cynical that we can't enjoy our superheroes meeting and interacting?
Right. That's a big part of the comics. It's part of the appeal. Yeah, it's just those specific names were ones I weren't expecting, and they're all like OG Fox actors. It's not like a mission, the exception being Channing Tatum, of course. But other than that,
him, I am nervous about. He worked in a Deadpool movie. I don't know how he's gonna work in Avengers.
Sure, I'm kind of wait and see.
God damn it!
But they didn't list, at least confirm, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Daphne Keane, like that. The rest of that Deadpool crew was not listed at all, which means either A, they're trying to keep those secret for some reason, or B, they're saving them for Secret Wars. Like, it's going to be one of the two, but it feels like that group is going to be separate from these X-Men that have been announced, you know what I mean?
Noah says, because we've had so much of them meeting and interacting.
We've been spoiled, I think.
Okay, but...
It's not special anymore.
But, like, we're still doing stuff that we've never done before. Unless you can point to me a movie where the X-Men get to interact with Spider-Man or Iron Man.
Right.
Or, you know, if Tobey Maguire is in this, we're going to get to see the OG Spider-Man with the OG X-Men. It's fun.
Which is, yeah, I think that's fun and something I like to see. Again, their names aren't there because, I'm guessing because either A, they're trying to keep that secret, or B, that's something they're saving for Secret Wars. I'm fine either way. And the one name that I did find exciting was James Marsden coming back as Cyclops, because he deserves a redemption.
Maybe he'll finally get something to do. It only took them 20 years.
Yeah. And, like, if Famke Janssen gets a cameo, that's fine, but she at least got more to do than he did, you know?
She got 2 whole movies.
Yeah, she did get extra movies than he got. So, if she gets a cameo, cool, but same with Halle Berry, but Marsden's the one who should get the spotlight. I hope he's a big part of that movie. Also, I'm glad this put to rest. I don't know why so many people were saying this, because I get it. The MCU is notorious for not following up post-credit scenes. I get it. But I've been saying for years, ever since the Marvels, like, okay, well, obviously, the Kelsey Grammer Beast cameo, like, that's gonna play a part in Doomsday or Secret Wars, and that's where we're gonna get a bunch of those X-Men, including Kelsey Grammer. And I got a lot of pushback for people saying, Kelsey Grammer's not coming back. That was just a one-and-done cameo. I was like, what? Like, so I'm glad that's confirmed. Noah says that the stream's laggy now.
It's not the stream, it's the fucking game. My frames were.
Sorry about that, folks.
I don't know what's going on. I think it's just this game.
This game hates you. You must defeat it. But besides Marsden, though, the name there that excited me the most, just because I never thought I'd get this, was Alan Cumming returning as Nightcrawler. I've been waiting for that for 20 years. So that's cool.
I don't know. People's rules on what is allowed and isn't seem to be very arbitrary. They own those characters. If Fox was bringing back, uh, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and Ian McKellen, nobody would be complaining about the nostalgia. It's just because Disney's doing it.
Sure. Yeah.
That with Deadpool and Wolverine, where people are like, Disney's just doing it for nostalgia. It's like, there's no way Fox wasn't going to do the exact same thing.
Right, and that movie, to its credit, at least in my opinion, is more of a Deadpool 3 than it is an MCU movie. Yeah. Like, there isn't a lot of MCU stuff there. It is mostly Fox-era characters and things we're playing with.
Damn it!
No, I just said that this game is too epic for your computer. That is correct.
True.
Anime fan wants Morbius and Vulture to show up to pay off the ending of Morbius. Well, that's less likely. And that's a Sony movie.
Yeah, so none of the Sony characters will show up, hopefully.
I'm just gonna kind of headcanon that the last we ever see MCU Vulture is Homecoming. That's fine. His story was done.
Right, but...
okay. It's fine. I'll keep talking to the chat. Noah. Keith. Now, what I will say with these actors coming back, I hope that CGI Kelsey Grammer Beast looks a lot better than he did in the Marvels. Because that sucked. But, Noah, anime fan, let me know what you guys think. So, I'm guessing that all these X-Men actors returning for Doomsday, they're all gonna be from the world we saw at the end of the Marvels with Kelsey Grammer's Beast. But I remember when that movie came out, people were speculating, no, this isn't just a random world. Like, no, this is literally the Fox, post Days of Future Past world. But which I had a hard time buying since Beast looked, CGI and terrible. But, well, let's say it is. Do you guys think that's what we're going? Because this isn't as much of a hodgepodge as I was expecting of random actors from random eras. It's like, no, it is... I thought maybe they'd get McAvoy and Fassbender back for Professor X and Magneto. No, it is the OG Fox characters they're doing, which makes me think, maybe this is going to be a literal follow-up to those. Okay, that could be interesting. But what I was saying with Vulture earlier is, yeah, I'll just leave it at Homecoming. The way we put him in Morbius was so weird and contrived and confusing. It didn't make any sense, and I don't think we'll ever follow that up. And I don't think Michael Keaton needs to. He can make Beetlejuice 3. That's fine. He can do whatever he wants with Tim Burton. I don't think we'll see Michael Keaton play Vulture again at this point, and I don't need him to. So, whatever. That's a good point, Anime Fan. He says that he thinks it will be the Fox versions of the characters, but wearing more comic-accurate costumes. I hope it's a blend. I hope a little bit of, that DNA of the earlier suits, some of the black leather is still in there, depending on the character. I like a bit of homage to those suits. I don't need everybody to look like right off the page. And maybe we'll see Hugh Jackman play 2 Wolverines. Who knows? Well, one from the Fox world and one from the Deadpool Wolverine world. I guess that's fine. But like, do I need Marsden to be in the 90s Cyclops uniform? I mean, personally, no. I just want him to be used well. Anime fan, that would be an interesting idea. It'd be cool to have the reformed villains from No Way Home show up to help stop Doctor Doom. I mean, maybe a couple of them. I don't need everybody back, or you can just leave them alone. The problem is there are so many characters in this movie that I am worried that many are just going to be thankless cameos and won't get stuff to do. That's what's interesting about this whole event. Like, oh my god, everybody's in this movie. We've now seen this so much, from Infinity War to Endgame to the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths on TV and the Flash movie and now Deadpool Wolverine. We've seen this a lot now, to various degrees of success, in my opinion. So it's hard to get me excited. Just, oh, like, everybody's in the movie. Like, that doesn't mean they'll be used well. Like, how many of these will just be thankless cameos who just show up for 5 seconds and are gone? We'll see. I'm a little concerned about that. And Noah brings up a good point. He says, Noah says he doesn't think it'll be the Fox versions, just because we've only used Fox actors to play other versions of characters so far. That's kind of true, but remember that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is the same Deadpool, and for all intents and purposes, Daphne Keane Laura is the same Laura from Logan, which, as I said earlier, probably isn't canon with those movies, but that's a good point. Like, Patrick Stewart, Professor X, and Doctor Strange 2 was a different Professor X, but it's because of the ensemble, Noah. It's because it's that group. If it was more of a mishmash with the older cast and the younger cast, I'd say, yeah, it'll probably just be variants and new versions, but because it's Professor X, Ian McKellen, Rebecca Romaine, James, that is such a specific group that they announced that I could see it go either way. And of course, continuity in the Fox X-Men movies was loose at best in the first place. I don't know which of those movies are canon with each other and which ones are not. All of them. Anime fan, I actually agree with this. It would be great to have Anya Taylor-Joy come back as Magic. I thought she could have been in Deadpool and Wolverine. That could have been fun. The problem is that would have been the place to put her, but also that movie's not a notorious New Mutants isn't a notorious failure the way like Blade Trinity or the Elektra movie were. The problem with New Mutants is that people just don't remember it. Like, that's such a deep cut cameo pull that 99.9% of the audience isn't gonna get.
Yeah, but to be fair, so is Channing Tatum's Gambit.
That's true.
And I know he's only in Doomsday because he was popular in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
But I don't think many people got the joke with him in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Sure. Anime fan says that he hopes the Doctor Doom from, I think, the 2000s movie shows up. That seems less likely to be.
Maybe.
Unless
if
there's a
Chris
bunch
Evans
of
wasn't Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine, I would have said no. But they have acknowledged those movies.
Well, and whether it's Doomsday or Secret Wars, I am hoping we get a Council of Reed scene, just because that is a thing from the comics, and that is a valid excuse, I think, to do a bunch of Reed Richards actors and some returning ones.
Three
I
of
think that'd be
them?
fun. You can get the '90s one. I don't know what that guy's doing. Yeah, I agree, Noah. He hopes that out of focus Hamish Linklater from Fantastic Four shows up. That yes, he should be in the movie. We can pay off that cliffhanger from the end of the first one.
He'll be the fourth Reed.
I'm sorry, what?
He'll be the fourth Reed.
Yeah, that'd be great. But also, what gives me hope with this Fox X-Men that we know about, I'm glad they're saying, yeah, we're doing all that up front. Because remember, we're talking about Doomsday here, not even Secret Wars. Like, who knows how many of these characters carry over to Secret Wars or who they're saving for that. But
Guessing a large chunk of them die.
possibly. But also, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine didn't kill off most of those cameos, so who's to say?
Yeah, but
Got
this
my-
is okay. But this is a movie that's going to have significantly higher stakes than Deadpool and Wolverine.
Sure. Yeah, Patrick Stewart, Professor X, can die because he's died in like 5 of these movies anyway, so it's kind of tradition at this point.
He might even die on set. We don't know.
They're banking on it. Then you could do that with Ian McKellen, Magneto. That's fine.
They
Yeah,
can
but
finally
then
pay
you-
off that Tess scene from X3.
Yeah. But man, like if Nightcrawler shows up for 5 seconds and dies, that's really gonna annoy me. That's
Okay,
gonna be a let.
hypocrite.
No.
All these characters can die except this one.
Yeah. I'm saying it depends on the context and how they're used. I hope
Damn
these
it.
aren't thankless cameos. Because a big thing I commend Deadpool and Wolverine for, even if I don't think that's like an amazing movie, is most of those are actual roles. They are real parts of the movie. They get dialogue and things to do. They're not even cameos. Like they're just supporting characters.
You know what I have to say about Doomsday?
What?
You know how long I've been waiting for this?
But that is what makes me nervous with this having 200,000 characters. Is, yeah, I know that not everybody's gonna get something to do.
But don't worry, Channing Tatum's Gambit will be a main character.
He'll be fine. He'll survive. Yeah.
Damn it.
But even I think James Gunn pulled that off with his Suicide Squad movie, where they front loaded that with, oh my god, there's so many actors, so many characters in this movie, many of which die in the opening sequence. But they at least get stuff to do, they get lines, they get moments, like they're still
Yeah,
memorable.
but Robert, that's okay because they're not nostalgia bait.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So he can do it, but Disney can't. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Dude, like, I was hoping Alan Cumming would return as Nightcrawler in Days of Future Past, and that was probably, like, the biggest one they didn't get. So that was kind of a bummer at the time. And then Deadpool Wolverine, he wasn't in, and I was like, okay, that's probably just never going to happen for me, because I just love that actor in that role so much. And now it is happening, so that's just kind of a pinch me, I must be dreaming. And
The thing that worries me,
Oh,
though,
God,
is
I
I do hope they don't try to tone him down. because Bryan Singer really keeps the like religious angle with him.
Yeah.
And so far, Disney hasn't proved that they're willing to keep that in their religious characters.
Yeah. John's talking about Daredevil. You get a tiny bit of it in episode 6. I will say that. A tiny bit. But Nightcrawler and Daredevil having a scene together, that would be cool. Will Disney do it? Probably not, but you could. Doomsday or Secret Wars.
Honestly, I don't want Daredevil in that.
Yeah, I'm at this point, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be in Doomsday, just because, they're filming season 2 now, and they're probably going to be separate things.
It's not a place
Maybe he'll be in Secret Wars.
For those street level characters.
Yeah, I think Daredevil's the exception, though.
Is he?
Sure, he's a major Marvel superhero. I'd prefer to see him in a Spider-Man movie, but Disney doesn't want to do that, apparently. For some reason.
I mean, he was in a Spider-Man movie.
He technically was. I wanted more of that.
No. You'll take what you can get.
Anime fans said that since Chris Evans voiced Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen should show up as Captain America. I'm very certain they're not going to do that, but it could be funny because I like Tim Allen.
Bring back Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that could be fun. I agree, Noah. Why can't Spider-Man 4 just be a Spider-Man and Daredevil movie? Like, I take it. If that's the compromise for making a street-level, more grounded Spider-Man movie, but we gotta have another superhero in there, Daredevil. That's the compromise.
It would
make
make a lot of money.
It would. But oh god, and now the rumors of it adapting Spider Island and shit. I'm like, no. It's all the rumors we've heard sound like the worst ideas.
Oh, Sony.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. Anime fan brings up a good point and good segue. The other big surprise for me was Rebecca Romijn as
I'm
Mystique.
shocked at that.
That came out of nowhere for me.
You think they'll dump truckloads of money to get Jennifer Lawrence back?
No. That's the one where Disney might say, hey, maybe let's save $50 million and not do that. Rebecca Romijn's probably a lot cheaper. She's doing fine, though. I like her a lot as an actress. I just thought, like, yeah, that was done. I just never expected to see her in that role again. But, I do think anime fans is right, though. Like, they're probably going to put her in a more comic-accurate costume, right? Disney's not going to have that character be naked. Like she was in the older movies.
Not in an Avengers movie, no.
No. There are things you could get away with in PG-13 movies. Yeah, sure. That's the thing anime fans said earlier that I think is the route they might go. They might be the Fox versions of the characters, just in more comic-accurate costumes. I could see them doing that. Like Mystique, probably.
I feel like Daredevil's too really serious and grounded for Spider-Man film. I mean, no.
Spider-Man's bread and butter back in the day was being more quote-unquote grounded and like relatable.
Yeah, just because he makes quips doesn't mean that it has to be for 3-year-olds.
Yeah. There's lots of Spider-Man Daredevil team-ups, anime fan. They're very much cut from the same cloth. Daredevil stories certainly tend to skew more adult, especially
he's in No Way Home.
But yeah, he's in No Way Home. You can make that work. Also, Daredevil is in She-Hulk. You can mix up the tones.
You know what? This might be a hot take. I want him and She-Hulk in something else together. The writing was bad, but they had good chemistry.
I agree. That was another name, just because she was in the concept art that was leaked a few weeks ago, that I was surprised to not. Tatiana Maslany is still not confirmed. I do think she'll be in there. I was just surprised that they didn't confirm that. So she's
I
on the
feel like
concept
we only got maybe half that cast
right.
confirmed. But speaking of Tatiana Maslany or whatever, I've been listening to the Hunger Games audiobook, and she reads them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Oh, that's nice.
The only thing that makes me cringe, and I have this with both audiobooks that I've tried, that and Harry Potter, is the readers like to put on like voices for the characters as they're reading them, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Like the Harry Potter audiobooks are Stephen Fry, and his Hermione sucks because he gets real like high pitched and tries to talk really fast.
I wish more audiobooks had more of an audio drama feel, where you had at least a few different people doing lines.
If you're gonna do voices, that's the way to do it.
I remember we recently talked about Gary Sinise in the Stand mini-series. When I was in high school, we listened to an audio book version of Mice and Men that he recorded. And that one is like 75%, not even 70, like 85% him doing, you know, these male characters, because that's a book, that's a story with a very small cast of characters. And then there's that small percent where he's doing a voice of a female character, and it's very distracting. And it doesn't work. It's like, couldn't he have gotten just like his wife or something to record some lines for this? I don't know.
Yeah, no, when his first line of dialogue as Hermione is I mean, you know what it is if you've read the book or seen the movie. I was like, oh no.
Oh no, yeah, it's something you gotta adjust to.
He's like, holy cricket! I can't even go that high. You're Harry Potter! And I'm like, oh god, stop. No. He also mispronounces words. Or either I've been mispronouncing Avada Kedavra, or he is. I don't know which one.
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, I just kind of pronounce it how Ralph Fiennes does in the movie. So I guess those movies are ruined now because it has Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson in them. I forgot.
Oh. But yeah, Anime Fan, I don't agree. I think that's kind of an oversimplification of those characters. He said that Spider-Man's more upbeat, especially recently, and Daredevil's too grumpy. Like, they both can be upbeat.
Those characters have existed for decades. They are not just one thing.
Yeah, and it would also be like saying, well, Batman can't team up with Superman because Batman's grumpy. It's like, no, that's why that works.
Yeah,
because they're different. They compare and contrast each other.
Spider-Man will make jokes while he's going through some of the darkest shit you'll ever read in a comic book.
Right, and especially in No Way Home, like, Tom Holland, like, that movie is on kind of a downer. Like, it does go to some dark places. That's the perfect place, I think, to jump off from. Yeah. And do a darker, more serious movie.
Say what you will, I think Tom Holland is really good in that movie.
I think he's great. I think he really sells those emotional moments. Then Anime Fans also said that She-Hulk will have minimal screen time, if any, due to her show getting poor reviews. I don't know if that
matters.
I don't think highly of Disney as a corporation. I don't think they're gonna do her that dirty. We'll see, but I think she will have a role in either Doomsday or Secret.
Anybody like actually complain about She-Hulk the character? We all agree that the writing was shitty.
Yeah, I mean, I had issues with the take on the character.
Well, but that leads into like the writing.
Yeah.
But like, no, at least for me, I like her in that role. Like, just you need people who know how to write.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, Shang-Chi was a movie that did very well and was well received, so him I do expect to have a substantial role in those
Oh,
movies.
good.
As one of our quote-unquote new Avengers. But what I did take from this cast announcement, at least the ones they confirmed, is I can kind of picture, okay, so these are the specific groups we're going to be following, and it's not just going to be, I don't think, as much of a hodgepodge from different franchises as people were
Doomsday is
expecting.
first, right?
Doomsday's first.
So yeah, so like this will be the big multiverse. We get all the cameo stuff out of the
Extravaganza.
way, establish the stakes, and then they will all die over the course of the film, and it'll be down to one team of Avengers, probably built up of different characters.
Possibly, yeah.
That's probably why they didn't announce a lot of the mainstays. Like Tom Holland's not there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Anthony Mackie was on that list.
No, he was.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie, Paul Rudd, Benedict Cumberbatch were there, but all the others are very like, okay, the whole group from Thunderbolts is there, and the Fantastic Four is there, the new Fantastic Four, and
Well, it was
we're gonna have a
weird
bunch
too
of
because I
X-Men
remember
there.
when they were announcing the Fantastic Four, they announced like Vanessa Kirby and the guy that's playing Johnny, and then like an hour later threw in Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Well, also, I didn't watch that live stream at all. I just watched the short.
I didn't either.
Well,
I
before-
just they were talking
5
about it in
hours.
our Discord. No, that was
Yeah.
the dumbest possible way to show off your
it's-
cast.
I mean, people are mad about it, but you know what? It's still got millions of views.
My favorite thing about that is just all those content creators that had to sit there and watch that fucking thing.
That's when
And then,
some of the ones that
what was
do
the point of ending that with Robert Downey Jr.? You announced that months ago.
Yeah.
Why not use that for a surprise casting?
Wasn't that over a year ago at this point? I don't know.
What? No, that was at last year's Comic Con.
Yeah,
a full
okay.
year yet.
Maybe it was last summer. Okay. It feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
Anime fan says he doesn't think Benedict Cumberbatch is in Doomsday. I thought his name was there.
Even if his name's not there, he will be in one of them. They're not going
Right.
to leave out Doctor Strange.
Right. But yeah, what I was also surprised was none of the Marvels being included. Like, I'm sure they'll be in the movie, but I thought they'd have at least one of them listed there. So that I thought was weird. An
Morrison
anime
was
fan.
killed by editing.
Oh, well, an anime fan said that you could see Captain Marvel getting as much due as like Mira in Aquaman 2. These are different circumstances, though. Again, I don't think Disney's gonna throw Brie Larson under the bus that far. I think she'll get plenty to do in these
Has
movies.
she even had a recent controversy, or are they just still reeing
Oh.
about the thing that happened like 10 years ago?
Exactly. Like, people are still yelling and complaining about her for comments she made like
She was
5
good
years
in the
ago.
last
Whatever.
Marvel movie. I don't care if you liked it or not.
She's fine.
She was good.
Yeah. I also think if Doomsday and Secret Wars are her send-off, like, that's fine. Just keep Kamala. So, I don't know. Also, last we saw the other one, Photon, was with the
Whoa,
Kelsey
whoa,
Grammer
whoa.
cameo.
Why is
so-
she the other one?
No, she's the other one.
Whoa, you can't say that.
Sure, I can. I just
God.
mentioned Kamala.
I mean,
And,
I do legitimately like Kamala. I think that actress is
I
really
did too. Yeah, you can keep her. Also, they did confirm Haley Steinfeld. That was another big one. Again, she'll probably be in the movie. I was just surprised they didn't list her.
About time they did something with that fucking character. That was the best part of Hawkeye.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, uh, I did see a leaked thing the other day, Robert. I meant to send it to you. Wong opens a portal, and Art the Clown is chopping Professor Xavier in half. It's very strange.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's
Wong-
fine. He doesn't
Wong
need his
hurries
legs
up and
anyway.
closes. He's like, "Fuck! I'm not dealing with that."
God, I hope. But that's what's interesting though is that quote unquote leaked concept art. Just how many of the characters we saw in that weren't in the cast list here. That doesn't feel coincidental. Like Chris Pratt, Tatiana Maslany, Haley Steinfeld, uh, the actress who plays Kamala Khan. All of those characters were in the concept art that aren't listed here, and like they're trying to keep them secret for some reason. I'm curious as to why. Also, that concept art, we've never talked about this. You saw that, right? All the Doomsday leaked art.
I might.
It was lots of characters in different locations and like different periods of time or whatever. But I think tinfoil hat theory for a second. That felt deliberate. That felt somebody at the studio was like, hey, quote unquote, leak that out, get the internet buzzing and talking about. Because there wasn't anything obvious or fanboyish about that concept art, like oh my god, it's Hugh Jackman and Iron Man teaming up. Like it's nothing like that. It's just a lot of Phase 4 and Phase 5 characters in different situations. So for supposedly leaked concept art, I was like, nah, that was probably marketing. That's my theory. That feels deliberate.
I'm curious if Pratt will come back.
I'm pretty sure he will. I'll be surprised if he's not in the movie.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I mean, they did say Star-Lord will return, but
Oh, that's true.
that,
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be in it.
now, do any of the other Guardians show up in Doomsday or Secret Wars, like Rocket? I'm gonna say probably not, but we'll see. Dave Bautista won't be there. I can confidently say that.
My boy Drax.
Yeah, he's never coming back unless James Gunn's involved.
Honestly, I can't blame him.
Yeah, it's fine.
I saw the last time he was in a non-James Gunn MCU movie. Fuck you, Taika Waititi. Oh god. What are you showing me here? Come on. So we are starting
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 this Sunday. Are you excited?
Oh, we are?
Yeah. What
Jumping
happens
right
when you
into it.
finish one?
I mean,
Jump
we
into the
talked
next
about doing another live stream this Sunday. But that's cool.
Did we?
Yep.
I thought everything we talked about was once we finished Alan Wake. Or Alan Wake 2.
Nope. That's not how the conversation went. It's fine.
I think you're
we were
making
talk-
things up.
It's on tape.
It's on tape? What is this, the 90s?
No, we talked about doing our favorite Final Girls ranking this Sunday. But if you'd rather just start Alan Wake 2, that's fine.
I'll ask Noah, because I don't remember what I said now.
This is why you should have a journal. You need to log your thoughts every day.
Well, I keep asking you to write stuff down, and you keep not doing it, so
I write stuff down. You don't know me.
you're full of shit. You Krispy Kreme motherfucker.
I've had Final Girl ranking video written down for months because we keep talking about it, never doing it.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with scraps.
Yes.
Bring that guy back.
Yeah, Ralphie from Christmas Story. He's out in the wild somewhere.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What, you think he's less than human?
Yes. He's a bad guy. He was in Far From Home.
He was. Underrated Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. It was aight.
It's got problems, but that's one of the best
Do you
villains
think-
in the Spider-Man industry.
Jake Gyllenhaal was great. Now the rumor is that Chameleon will be the main villain in Spider-Man 4. Do you think they'll bring back the guy who was supposed to be Chameleon in Far From Home?
Hope so.
He's the driver. For some reason.
Do you remember when the Punisher was supposedly in Winter Soldier?
Oh, are you talking about like the truck theory?
Yeah.
So
Remember
stupid.
that?
Yeah.
The
And I know there
Punisher
is a.
wasn't actually on screen, but trust me, bro, he was the guy driving the truck.
So is that like a coordinated effort? You think Winter Soldier is like, all right, I'm gonna pull this guy out of the car, throw him across the freeway. You'll be coming the other direction. You think this is all planned out?
Yeah.
I think Punisher was working with the Winter Soldier.
Remember when Peter Parker was that kid in Iron Man 2?
That one is dumb. The Punisher thing is worse.
Yeah.
And I know there is some Russo brothers quote to back it up, where they're like, "Oh yeah, you might be in the movie somewhere. You never know." It's like, I think that was them just talking out of their ass.
Yeah, I mean, that movie also mentioned Stephen Strange before Doctor Strange. I don't think it's canon.
Yeah.
No,
anime
what was
fan,
annoying
like,
with the Spider-Man thing is, I don't remember who it was, but somebody that works for the MCU was like, yeah, that's true. That kid
That's
is supposed to
canon
be Peter Parker. It's like, shut up. No, it's not.
Yeah. Then why didn't that come up in any of his 3 Spider-Man movies? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, anime fan, like, so I liked Brie Larson in that role fine. That just did not click with audiences the way they wanted it to, and again, I like her in the Marvels. Like, I have nothing, I have no beef with Brie Larson.
Yes, you do. You just hate women.
Yeah, that's true. She's fine. But I also, like, I'm not gonna complain if they never make a Captain Marvel 3. Like, I don't need it.
No,
If they wanna wrap
Robert,
her
you
up in
have to be
fillers, it's fine.
outraged. Patriarchy is holding her back.
Yeah. Well, like I said, what those X-Men actors in Doomsday gives me hope for is like, okay, we're gonna get all that out of our system with Doomsday and Secret Wars. That'll be for real our last check-in with the Fox era stuff. Then we can clean reboot and move forward with X-Men. Because I've been ranting forever saying, oh god, I do not want X-Men, MCU X-Men, to be a hodgepodge of old returning actors and a new younger cast. No! I want a clean reboot.
No.
This gives me more hope that that's happening. Like, we might keep Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Like, no. You can recast, it's fine. I like Kelsey Grammer. The one I'm worried about, though, is Hugh Jackman. That's like the one exception they might make. Of, nope, we're gonna make him do it till he's 90. We're never recasting that role for some reason.
Yeah, I do wonder, as much as I love Deadpool and Wolverine, if maybe they have picked themselves up in the ass by putting him in the MCU in some capacity. Because you know there's going to be those idiots on the internet We've already got Hugh Jackman. Why can't you just keep using him?
Yeah, it's like, put him in Doomsday, put him in Secret Wars. That's all you need. We're good. Stop.
I got my comic book accurate Hugh Jackman Wolverine. I'm good.
Yeah. And again, I love Logan. I think that was a great send off for him, but they won me over. He had more to say and do with that character. Besides just seeing him in a more comic accurate costume, it's like, no, I think there is value in him coming back. It just doesn't need to be indefinite.
Robert, until he's 90.
Yeah. And anime fans asking about Henry Cavill Wolverine. I mean, I don't think they'll bring him back, but that would be funny if they brought him back for like a full sequence. I don't know. He's not busy right now, I don't think. Anime fan also wants Ned Leeds Hobgoblin to be the next Spider-Man villain. No, please. I don't want that.
Yes, you do.
I want Hobgoblin. I just don't need it to be Ned.
You don't want the Goblin to be the CEO of sex?
Yeah, an anime fan. I'm cool with another Henry Cavill Wolverine appearance. I don't need that to be the MCU version. I prefer a younger, more unknown. That's the problem. It's like, wait, so we're gonna trade Hugh Jackman for an actor now in his 40s? Like, no, you can cast a little younger. That's fine. And I'd prefer a more unknown in that role.
We got to get Daniel Radcliffe.
Yep.
Even though
Well, it's not really an unknown.
I can't see it.
Yeah, Noah also mentioned Taron Egerton, who I don't really see either, but that was another popular fan casting for a while just because he's in a movie with Hugh Jackman.
Is that the only reason people kept casting him?
Yep.
I remember seeing that casting, but I never really
I don't
understood
see.
it.
I mean, I like Taron Egerton. He was in King. He's also Elton John in that Rocketman movie, which is great. I don't know. Whenever we do finally recast Wolverine, I think we gotta go unknown.
I'm fine with it being.
It doesn't need to be a fan cast. Oh, a weird fan cast. Like, none of these are, like, obvious or... Yeah, sure, they check the boxes. It's just, well, Taron Egerton was in a movie with Hugh Jackman, therefore he should play Wolverine. Like, no. That's not how it works.
I believe that's what fan casting has become.
Yeah. Like, the gimmick talking points, not... And then I see the flip happen too, where an actor will like check all the boxes, and then people resist that. Like, well, no, that's too obvious. And I mean,
Hate that argument. So we shouldn't cast somebody that could fit the role because it's too obvious.
Yeah, I've never
what?
agreed with that.
Because I hear that shit all the time, especially with directors. Like, oh, I don't want to see James Gunn do this because it's too obvious. I'm like, I just want a good movie.
Yeah,
like,
and if he wants to do it, let him.
Oh, look. Doom Guy plushie.
Yeah. Oh, cute.
There's like a bunch of those. I just haven't been looking for them.
And also in the case of like Taron Egerton, Noah, I could be won over. I'm not gonna be angry about it or against it if that happens. Like, he is a great actor, so I'm always willing to be won over, certainly. Thank you guys for watching our Avengers Doomsday discussion on.
Yeah, because you won't shut up about it.
I gotta say something.
It almost got smashed. Oh wait, Noah, you're in the chat. Did we agree to just start Alan Wake or do that Final Girls video next?
I mean, the Final Girls video was discussed, like, if Noah's... Because what Noah talked about on Sunday was he wasn't sure he could come up with a top 10, so we were.
Maybe we need to give him some more time.
But at no point was it discussed, oh, we're going to do Alan Wake 2 next Sunday. Like, that was not
We
part of the
that
conversation.
like every week.
Have we?
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about Alan Wake 2, not as the
Well, if you were
immediate
there,
follow-up.
but Noah and I did.
Okay, I'm not saying you guys didn't talk about it.
I think that's exactly what you're saying.
I don't assume to know information from conversations I wasn't there for.
You could speak Korean, motherfucker. Oh, you know, that's who they should get is Thomas Jane Punisher.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to do
Bring John Travolta back
it. Yeah.
as Howard Saint. Use that right
Are you winning, John?
there. I don't know. Oh God. I hate these fucking things.
Noah says he doesn't remember what was decided, but he's fine with either one. I don't know if you want to start Alan Wake 2 Sunday, that's fine. But
Yeah,
he gets the idea.
Give us some more time on that. That is going to be the first ranking video we do. But A, I forgot, and B, I think at least me and Noah will need more time to prepare a proper copy.
I'd also say, because I remember Noah saying he wasn't sure if he could come up with 10, I think we don't need to limit ourselves to just slashers. Just think horror movie with female protagonist who makes it to the end. I don't think it has to be a slasher. Because that opens
That's
up.
not the
options
trope,
quite a bit.
Robert.
Well, it depends on the movie.
That's
There's
not
a lot
the
of gray area
trope.
there.
We have to follow the trope.
The tropes that most of those movies don't always follow.
Yes.
I also think it's funny, speaking as a major Scream fan, that Scream fan, that after that movie though, everybody became so much more like conscious and rigid about the quote unquote rules of that movie when, like, in the context of the movie, that's just the opinion and thoughts of a teenager who likes horror movies.
No, but that is the law. I mean, to be fair, pretty much everything he says comes true.
In the movie, sure, but not necessarily. But then they literally subvert the big one, which is Sydney has sex and then lives. The villains say, "Oh, you have to die now because you had sex," and then the movie subverts that.
Are you saying it was directed by Rian Johnson?
Yeah, he's a good
Movie
director.
ruined.
He's made good movies.
No.
Noah says, I think we should stick to the trope. Like, meaning what? Like, just slasher movies? Like, so then we can't include it Ripley?
Counts. Alien movie is a slasher movie, dude.
It's slasher adjacent.
Dude, it is a bunch of people in an enclosed space with a monster killing them one by one. That is a slasher movie.
By your definition, some people would disagree with you.
Some people are wrong. Do you not count Alien as a slasher?
It's slasher. It's. I think of it more of as a monster movie, but yeah, it's certainly slasher adjacent. But also like, it's not a killer in a mask with a knife. Like I think of it as a monster movie first and foremost. But yeah, it has those slasher qualities, absolutely. Same with the Terminator, which, as you describe, is the most complicated slasher movie ever made, which is true.
Yeah, so I think Sarah Connor would count. At
Okay.
least for that first movie.
I just think it's funny that you're like, no, Alien is totally a slasher movie, but then with something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're like, well, it's more of a proto slasher. I find
Because
that
it doesn't it doesn't fully fit into that. Like the slasher isn't really a slasher. He killed like one person in that movie.
that's not true. He kills like 3. Neither. That's what's funny is neither film checks off every trope that say a
Alien
Scream
comes
movie brings
closer.
up. I think that's debatable. They both have slasher tropes. I agree. They're just doing it.
But I would
think it's
also
funny
count-
to think of Alien as
I
more
would
slasher
also
than
count
Texas Chainsaw
Sally on that list. Like Texas Chainsaw is a proto slasher, sure. And maybe there's an argument to be made that Alien is a proto slasher. But Sally is still a final girl.
Yeah, she is.
I
But
guess
I also
when I say
think-
proto slasher, so yeah, so Alien would be like a proto slasher. But like that's just because that's anything that was like made before the 80s, because 80s is the slasher.
Yeah. But I also think you're thinking more of like the film and the tropes, and I'm thinking more of the antagonist.
Yeah.
Where in one movie you have a monster, in another movie you have a guy with a mask and a gimmick, which is what Leatherface is, with a signature weapon.
I've seen enough movies to know a guy in a mask is never friendly. Whoa, what was that?
And then I'd also say, I don't know how much this will come up, because you know we're just shooting the shit right now. I think multiple final girls from one franchise could be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it just final girls. It doesn't have to be like
Yeah. The quote
one
unquote,
from Friday the 13th, because that instantly locks you out of 11 others.
right. Like, I mean, I can spoil up front. 'Cause I think we both agree Jenny's probably gonna be in my top 10 from part 2.
Yeah, and I
That's funny. You're like, and
well, because it was like I don't know. Sarah. No, it's
Sarah,
because
alright.
like I want to put
that series
Tommy
doesn't
on
have a lot of
there.
great. That's Final Boy.
I know, that's why I'm conflicted.
You'd probably have, what's her name, Tina from Part 7.
I'd
Second Girl?
put Tina on there. I think she's a great final girl.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we
should
both
put-
agree that
I should put
Carrie
the
wouldn't
psychic
count.
from. No, well, because Carrie's not a
That's
slasher
a-
movie. It's not
Yeah,
even
she
a
is killed.
proto slasher.
right.
Um,
But remember,
put-
the ranking though is Final Girls.
yeah,
That's why I said, like, I don't know.
Carrie wouldn't count either
Again,
way. She's not
some
the
agree.
she's not a slasher, and she's not a final girl.
Maybe she just kill people.
Oh, Robert, we found a secret.
Oh, a secret?
Yeah, look at this.
Secret. Oh my god.
It's the original Doom.
Oh no. Help, we're trapped.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, that's not really what I meant, because he said, if we go more broad, we could include more characters that aren't really final girls. Like, yeah, again, it depends on the movie. But, like... Okay, this could be a debate. Would you include Samara Weaving's character from Ready or Not? I think that's a great
No,
area.
because that's not a slasher. That's a like a home invasion.
Not in the traditional.
It's like a reverse home invasion movie.
But
What?
yeah, like I said, I agree that it's not a slasher in the traditional sense. But you know, she's still a female protagonist who endures and makes it that the circumstances are different. But she has.
But at this
she's
point,
a
you are also just like you're doing the cinema sins thing.
Am I?
Actually, this could also be a final girl. Like it's not that complicated.
How is that a okay. So, but you are just like, okay, we are only doing slasher movies. Like that's what you're saying.
That's where the final girl trope exists.
It's a gray area. Somewhere a gray area.
Sweet Jesus.
Like, but you're saying that character has no final girl qualities?
Just that she survives a traumatic experience.
But she checks like most of the boxes of what you think of a final girl experience.
Okay.
And
so since I have to set this rule for Robert, a final girl is a girl that survives a traumatic experience in a slasher film.
Or a slasher adjacent film. Or a sort of slasher film.
What the fuck does slasher adjacent mean?
like Alien. I think of that as a monster movie. But it also
but you were wrong. It's a slasher movie.
But you wouldn't call a xenomorph a slasher villain, or would you?
In that first movie.
It's a monster. It's a B movie.
Okay, but then, like, Jason's a slasher, and he's also a monster.
Sure.
So, like, it doesn't matter. It's still a slasher at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You are overthinking this.
Am I?
Yes.
So, would you include...
Swear to God.
Would you include Lila? Would you say Lila from Psycho qualifies? Because that is a proto-slasher movie.
Which one is Lila?
Marion's sister, who is kind of an OG final girl. But it's not a slasher in the traditional sense. There isn't a group of characters getting picked off one by one.
No.
She's
has
just
a body
the female
count from
character
what I
who survives the
remember.
movie. I mean, there's two on screen.
I mean, that's not that much less than... That's not that much less than the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's true. I'm not even arguing about it. I'm just asking questions.
You are doing the actually thing.
Am I? Well, no. All I'm saying is, well, it's a gray area. It's a broad spectrum, and you're like, no, a slasher is this, a final girl is this, and that's where I don't entirely agree. I think it's more broad.
You're broad.
Thank you. I just don't see Samara Weaving's character from Ready or Not not qualified.
You that she is.
I don't know. I think it depends on the movie.
You were making an argument that she is, and then you're like, oh, I don't see her as the final girl.
No, I said I don't see why she doesn't qualify. You just
sorry. Admittedly, I am having to listen to you and the game, so sometimes I might miss it.
But I do agree with Noah, who said that he doesn't consider Clarice from Silence of the Lambs a final girl. Like, that's true.
Well, no, then call it a slasher movie in any which way or form.
Well, they call it slasher adjacent.
No!
Like, there is a killer abducting and killing people.
That movie isn't about the kills. It doesn't. I don't think it even shows any of them.
That's true. I mean, well, then Hannibal Lecter kills people. Also, agree that it's not a slasher movie. I'm just saying that it does have slasher qualities. Like an Alien does.
You would take any subject and make it the most complicated thing that it can possibly be. I swear to fucking God.
Thank you.
Robert, a slasher movie is a movie that is about somebody killing people, that shows the kills. Collector is not a fucking slasher franchise.
I mean, I never said it was. We also do see some of the on-screen kills, especially if you count the broader franchise.
I can't speak for the broader franchise because I haven't seen those movies in years.
I also haven't seen the show. Okay, so Noah wants to stick to slashers, which is fair. Final girls from slashers.
Well, Noah, you can argue with Robert what the definition of a slasher is because apparently he thinks every movie is a fucking slasher.
Well, now you're misquoting me. I just said I don't think Silence of the Lambs is a slasher.
Okay, he thinks every movie except Silence of the fucking Lambs is a slasher.
Anime fan says, does Scary Movie count as a slasher film? Yes.
It is a satire of
It's
slashers.
a slasher parody. Isn't that what Scream is?
Yeah, okay, yeah, no. Scream is a satire, Scary Movie is a parody.
Agreed. Yeah. That's the distinction.
And before you ask,
Like,
I would also not count Hellraiser. It is not a slasher movie.
yeah, and a lot of people would consider her a final girl.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because it was like for a second I wanted to put her on my list, but I'm like,
Yeah. But that's why I just wanted clarification on the distinction, though, because, like I said, there are characters I think of as final girls in movies I don't consider slasher movies. That's all I'm saying.
but now the question is, can we put boys on the final girl list? Does it have to be a girl?
No, that's a final boy list. That could be different.
There would be all two of them.
But there are final girls within the Evil Dead franchise that may or may not make my list.
Isn't it part of being a final girl surviving?
I mean, yes, but not exclusively.
What?
Well, okay, back up. What were you thinking of as an example?
Well, because I don't think you can be a final girl if you're dead.
No. Back up before it. But, like, was there somebody you were thinking of when I brought up the Evil Dead thing?
I just thought you
I'm
meant
a little
like
confused, right?
Cheryl or what's her name from Evil Dead 2?
No, I was thinking of, like, the remake. That's what I was thinking, too. Evil Dead Rise would also count, potentially.
No.
But, okay, now I have to think of a specific... I think, though, Final Girl just means they make it to the end of the movie. That doesn't necessarily mean they survive it. But it just depends on the movie.
I don't know what Robert's number one is going to be. It's going to be fucking Alice from Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
What's her name, right?
It's fine. Yes. But she dies in the second movie. But you don't think that disqualifies her.
Well, no, because she survived the first movie.
Okay, so this is gonna open a can of worms. You've seen the
Sweet
Descent,
Jesus.
right? We're having a conversation. This is for the audience.
Okay, what is your question?
You've seen the Descent, right?
Once. I don't
okay.
remember a whole lot about it other than it made me extremely uncomfortable.
I was gonna ask if you consider that a slasher movie.
No.
Because it's more than one killer?
Because it's
I'm just
they're
asking for
creepy
clarification.
little monsters. And...
Oh, I'm sorry. The Xenomorph counts as a slasher, but not those guys? They're humanoid.
Fucking Mary.
You have really rigid rules about these things. I find it funny.
The Xenomorph is a humanoid creature, and that movie is about kills. It's about being hunted down one by one in an enclosed area. The Descent
is The
is
Descent.
a movie about claustrophobia. And as
Yeah.
far as I'm aware, from what I remember, now admittedly, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, that is not a movie that relishes in the kills.
Oh, it does. Dude, there's a lot of gore in that movie, but we can move on from this since you don't remember it that well. But, spoiler alert, nobody survives that fucking movie. Even though there is a character that I would consider quite
Isn't there an alternate ending or something to that?
Yes, that there are two endings of the movie. I prefer
Isn't the sequel
unrated
built off of one of them?
Yes. I've also heard the sequel is terrible, but I haven't seen it. But so I would definitely like to cover The Descent on the channel at some point, especially if Noah hasn't seen it. I'm not sure if he has.
I think the
'cause The
answer to
Descent's
that
great.
is Noah has not seen.
Well, he's probably read the Wikipedia synopsis.
You know,
But so basically, the theatrical cut of that movie just ends earlier because I think the studio wanted a door open for a sequel, which of course they made. The unrated extended ending, it just goes on longer and gives you more context. Like, no, none of these fucking characters survive. So it's a grimmer
fuck.
ending.
we love a good bad ending.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, Noah said that you forgot about the Evil Dead Rise and the remake. That's what tripped me up. I was just confused why I got pushed back on that. Noah, give me some more movie titles and see if we agree or not if they count as slasher movies.
We're not expect to have a philosophical debate about the nature of a slasher movie.
We're not, though. We're just having a conversation. Which is the point of a live stream, John.
Wait, we're live?
Oh my god. Hey, Noah's here.
Hey, I'm confused about something. Is Alien a slasher or a monster movie?
It's both. No, Noah, a movie can only ever be one thing, according to John.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, Noah, in all seriousness, do you agree with me that Alien is a slasher movie?
I don't understand why it can't be both.
That's
It
what I was
could
saying.
be.
It's both. It's a sci-fi B monster movie.
Although I will
That's
admit,
a slasher.
though, I wasn't thinking about even including Ripley until you mentioned that.
Oh,
So-
there you go.
For whatever reason, I just never think of the Alien franchise as a horror franchise.
You think of it
Even
as
though it
sci-fi
does
first.
count. Yeah. But, no, for sure. Yeah, she's a
And-
final girl.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's really
Well,
only that
that's-
first movie. Because the second one is just an action film. And the third one
I
is
think
a
that's
disaster.
why. I think
Alien,
that's
Alien
why.
3 counts as slasher.
And then the fourth
Yeah,
one's
that goes back to the horror roots, which is why it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But
it's the worst Alien movie. Or no, sorry, second worst.
Sync up.
Covenant's worst.
you've seen Alien Covenant.
It's better than.
Yeah, I try to forget about Covenant.
Well, Covenant is better than Resurrection. We can all agree on that.
It's not.
I'm sorry, and I haven't seen The Descent, but that moment when you and John was like, "Oh no, it's not. They're not killers. They're monsters." I was like, "Oh no."
That was so funny.
Just listen to this argument. I better step in.
Hey, but the Descent also doesn't really have a lot of those slasher elements that Alien has. I don't understand why
I
it's
disagree.
so complicated.
The Alien doesn't show a lot of the kills either. If we're being fair.
It doesn't really revel in it.
Yeah, most of them are off screen.
No, but you can compare the like Xenomorph to something like Michael Myers, where it's like stalking his prey and shit. Whereas you can't
Yeah.
with the Descent; they're just animals.
I mean, they are stalking their prey like
God
animals
damn it.
do.
I'm glad that we're getting all of this out before
Yeah.
the stream, so just so we know,
Well, we're
setting the
starting
ground
Alan
rules.
Wake 2 Sunday, so...
Yeah, no,
Okay,
we
that's
talked
fine.
about going straight into Alan Wake 2, right?
I can't remember.
No, why don't
mean,
you
you
write
guys
this
might
shit
have.
down? Because apparently Robert doesn't.
Noah, we talked about doing the Final Girl ranking on Sunday, right? Like, this was discussed.
We talked about. I can't remember if that was.
It wasn't finalized, though. It was just discussed as an option.
I can't remember if that was the plan for this Sunday or for when we finish Alan Wake 2. I don't know.
Pretty sure it's for when we finish Alan Wake 2, because I remember asking Robert, there was something you wanted to do when we were finished with Alan Wake 2. What was it?
That's not how I remember the question. You were asking, like, what are we doing next Sunday? I was not under the impression that you would
No,
have
I
jumped
think-
into Alan Wake 2, which is fine.
No, I think
I'm on board.
I think John's right. The more I think about it.
That's just not how I heard the question. Because it was like, what are we doing
But you
next
bastard.
Sunday?
It's probably
But,
good that we
so-
delay it, because you guys don't know what a fucking slasher movie is.
No, I know what a slasher is. I just
We all agree that Alien is a slasher movie, or a slasher adjacent movie, at least.
But I wouldn't even call that slasher adjacent. I would say it's a
Right.
it is a
But at worst, it's a proto slasher like Halloween.
it is a
Yeah.
monster movie slasher hybrid.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But no, like, do you see where I'm coming from when I say I think of that as a monster movie first? Like, I'm not
It's
saying
kind
it's
of
not a
like-
slasher.
So it's like a modernized version of the old like B movie monster movies, but
Mhm.
also setting the groundwork for the slasher craze that would follow the next decade. So it's like I see what you're both saying, and you guess what? You guys can both be right.
Yeah,
No,
it's cool.
you're not with me, then you are my enemy.
I get a lot of pushback from John for calling Texas Chainsaw Massacre a slasher movie, so I just find it kind of funny.
I mean,
It's
usually
funny because I call it a proto slasher all the time. I just don't think it's a full on like.
Yeah,
Friday the
I
13th.
call-
Yeah, and that's what I'd call Alien.
I call Psycho a slasher. I don't care. I know it's technically a proto slasher.
Sure.
You guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, Halloween is also technically a proto slasher, but I just think of that as
Yeah, it's just slasher.
yeah,
Mid slasher.
But
mid
no,
slasher.
I'm glad we're having this conversation though, because John was very like, no, we're doing Final Girls from slasher movies, and I just don't personally think of Final Girls being exclusive to that genre, but that's fine. You know, I think a
Yeah.
horror movie can't have a Final Girl that's not a quote-unquote slasher.
So I mean,
in
I'll
my
think
opinion.
about it. I didn't think that I would have 10, but maybe I do. The more I think about it, I don't know. We'll see.
We also said that I think multiple characters from the same
Within the same franchise, yeah, of course. Although you say that, and I'm thinking of like Nightmare and Friday in particular. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's like,
how
yeah,
many.
it's just it's like with the Nightmare, it's just Nancy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's respect Patricia Arquette in Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
What's her name?
Tuesday night.
Kristen? Is that her name?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
But John, isn't that more of an ensemble movie?
No, she's clearly the protagonist.
I mean, there's a lot of final kids at the end of that movie. Until the next one.
Yeah, but Jesus. Okay. The movie literally opens with her point of view. She is clearly the protagonist.
So is Tina the protagonist of the first one?
Yes, until she's not. No, that first movie switches POV once she dies and Nancy becomes the main character.
Yeah.
I don't know why you asked that like a gotcha moment, but
I didn't, though. I'm just asking questions. We're just having a conversation. No one knows I love it when John gets this frustrated.
That was like, I need to jump in voice chat for this.
Felt like you said, though, like you weren't even.
we all
sure if you
know,
should, like,
Robert, we have to put, what's her name from Jason X?
Yeah,
The robot?
lady? No.
Was it Rowan?
Maybe? That sounds right.
What about the robot?
Yeah.
I mean, I
That's
do
just
love the
sporting
robot,
character.
but she's not really the final girl.
And she kind of survives. At least her
I've
head
seen
does.
I've seen that movie like
one,
3 times.
Seventh of her surviving.
Even though
Yeah,
I've seen it 3
no, you
times, I
gotta
can't
get it.
remember what happens to the robot.
She gets her head punched off.
Oh yeah.
How do you forget one of the best scenes in the movie?
Because it reminds me of the scene from Jason Takes Manhattan where that happens.
Which is also the best thing in that movie.
But that's the better
That is correct.
version. That came first.
Hmm,
It's the worst movie, but that's the better version of that scene.
That's not even the worst movie.
Correct. Yeah, it is.
Then Jason
Most
X?
boring.
Oh, I
yeah,
thought
John
you said.
hates X.
I thought you meant it's the worst movie in the franchise. Sorry.
No. I was gonna say,
Part 8.
sure, you agree that Jason X is better than
No,
Part 8.
Jason X is peak.
I know you love that movie, John.
I do. Holds a special place in my heart. And yes, Robert, before you ask, that's a fucking slasher movie.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Is it a slasher movie or is it a sci-fi horror?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Noah, go fuck yourself.
It is the 2001 of Jason movies.
I mean, it's better
That
than
was the name of it.
2001: A Space Odyssey when you think about it.
Oh.
I know
I
which
like
one I'd
that.
rather
Sure.
watch.
Well, that's because you're you.
Well,
John, do you count the Final Destination movies as slashers?
Hang on. Noah, I gotta. While I'm thinking about that, Noah, I gotta send you this video. Hold on.
okay. Another live reaction time.
Noah, do you consider the Final Destination movies slashers?
Robert, I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, wow.
I would
Yeah.
say
We should do something on that.
We
yes.
should. I know there's a new one coming out.
There is. I'll add it to the list.
No, I really should watch those. That's a big like blind spot on my horror.
No, we have to make
Yeah,
the
watch-
content for the channel. You don't get to watch things on your own.
I'm saying we can make it content. Yeah. Just saying I need to watch it.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
By the way, I would not consider Beetlejuice a slasher anime fan.
Hey, Final Destination. Yeah, that's mostly a slasher. Bunch of people dying one by one.
I mean, there's lots of movies with a lot of people dying one by one.
Well, the only thing that gets me back
Yeah,
is
that's why
the
it's a
killer is kind of a
rise.
more ambiguous entity.
Yeah, it's death, literally. It doesn't have a face unless it's Tony Todd, if you buy that theory.
Being a Tony Todd, seeing him in the new Final Destination would just make me sad.
Yeah, he looked rough. Maybe I think probably his last movie. I don't know if there's anything else he filmed.
I mean, that man was in like 100 movies a year. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Most of them suck.
But it'll be nice to see him one last time in that role. It was always great to see. That is like, so you said before that you consider 3 the best,
Yes.
which is really good. It is a bummer that he's not in that one. His voice is. He does have a cameo, but he's not on screen.
That was an amazing video, by the way.
You're welcome.
The song really does fit with everything.
I've seen a lot of those memes, but usually it's like popular, like blockbuster movies. Like, holy shit, they did it!
They did it with Jason X. Hell yeah.
Is Jaws a slasher movie?
Yes. It's like Alien. It's a slasher monster movie.
Yeah, it's a monster killing and picking off people one by one. Not that it is a final girl though, so it wouldn't qualify regardless.
It's got 2 final boys.
It's got final boys. It's those young final boys.
Final men.
Right?
Final middle-aged gentlemen.
Yeah, what do you think the cutoff is? This is a broad question. What do you think is the cutoff of like an age for an actor or character when you think they no longer qualify as a final boy or final girl? Like, I don't think it matters, but it's not something we talk about a lot. Sometimes they're teenagers, sometimes they're in their like 20s.
How old is Ash supposed to be in Evil Dead 2?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm guessing college age. He's probably like 20.
I mean, that movie's
He doesn't
clearly
look
supposed
20.
to take place the day after Evil Dead 1, and that movie makes it clear
Kind
that
of.
they're college
Okay.
students.
I'm purely just talking about Evil Dead
Yeah.
2 just as a piece.
Right.
But the,
Like that's a remake of the first one, you know.
And then you have like Tommy Jarvis, who's a literal boy in his first appearance, and then by his third one,
He's
he's
young
like
well, but,
20.
but Noah, like, even with that, taking into consideration Army of Darkness, which is also somewhat of a reboot, he has college textbooks in his trunk. He's still clearly supposed to
Oh,
be
he does.
college age.
That's right.
And I
Yeah,
can
that's
believe
true.
that Ash was held back a lot in high school, so like who knows? And you can go to college at any age, so maybe. he
Yeah,
was,
but
like,
in
30 the
film-
Evil Dead one.
In film, especially in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have a lot of 30-year-olds going to college.
I mean, you had a lot of 30-year-old actors going to college.
Well, yes, but you also had a bunch of 30-year-olds playing 18-year-olds.
Exactly.
I don't know if you guys can think of it. An anime fan just asked if there's a movie with a slash in the title that could be considered a slasher. I feel like there should be. I just can't think of
With a
any off
slash
the top
in
of my
the
head.
title?
Yeah.
But I don't see that a lot in titles. We usually avoid that. Like, there's examples. It's just not something we do a lot.
Is they them a slasher?
Yes, actually
I
it
don't
is.
Oh, there you go. There's one.
Okay, and that was a slash.
They slash them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
movie.
just for example, infamously, Batman Superman wasn't Batman / Superman Dawn of Justice. It was Batman v Superman. But they didn't call it versus because they're like, well, it's not really a versus movie, even though it kind of is. So that title was weird.
It was like
That's
a
what
court
we got
case.
to- yeah, exactly. That was just a weird compromise of, well, we don't want to sell it as being a versus movie, so we'll just cut off the S.
No, when are you gonna do the they/them commentary?
Not with me around. You and Robert can do that.
Oh god.
It's your favorite
That'll be
movie. You've
for-
seen it like 12 times.
That'll be
Is
for...
anyone's favorite movie they them with Kevin
yours.
Bacon?
God. We can do it for our Kevin Bacon marathon spectacular.
Oh, we
September.
actually should do that. Not, I don't know about covering they them, but we should do something on Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Speaking of commentaries, Noah, I don't remember. Are you gonna be around tomorrow?
What are you doing? Oh, no, well, I'm not gonna be around tomorrow, but yeah, you're doing The Last of Us tomorrow.
If we weren't doing The Last of Us, you'd be around. I see how it goes.
No, no, no.
If you want to watch that on your own, that's fine. Whenever you get to it, no rush.
Do you say that?
Yeah,
But
we'll
I know
see.
Noah. He'll never get around to it.
Yeah.
It'll be when the show's almost over. I'll finally watch it.
Binge a little. But the reason though I was asking about like if the age of the character matters, just because one that I always forget about for Friday the 13th that like I guess counts is Pam in Part 5. I just don't
Ooh.
immediately think of her because she's the lady who survives the movie, who's working at the place that Tommy goes to. But like, she's not part of the teen group. She's like a 30-ish woman working there. I'm not saying she doesn't count. I just don't immediately think of her because she's not part of the teen group.
She's a final woman.
Yeah, exactly. But like, she's still the female character who survives the movie and fights the killer.
Yeah, but
She's
I
more the
mean,
protagonist
usually
than
when we
Tommy
name
is.
final girls, it is the main character. Like, when you say the final girl of Scream, you don't talk about Gail Weathers, you're talking about Sidney Prescott.
Right. And some people do count Gale, to be fair. But
Some
yeah,
people also
Sydney's the only
sniff
thing.
glue.
Okay.
Well, hey, it's a fair point. She's one of the survivors.
She is one of the survivors, and that a lot of that franchise is more of like a trio situation. It does become more of an ensemble thing.
That for Scream 5.
they're-
Oh.
Well, it's kind of an ensemble thing too. I mean, I call Dewey the main character of that.
That was just
or
a
one of the
joke
main
because they
characters.
killed Dewey.
But still, he's a main character. Also, Scream 2 killed Randy. Like he was the final boy for the first one.
I don't know.
But
I like to
anyway.
keep it simple. It's the final person
Clearly.
is the protagonist.
Unless there's more people. I don't.
Well, like I
Was there
said,
a case
help me
of
out.
most people, when you talk about Scream and you ask them who the final girl is, they're going to say Sydney, not
Right.
Gail. It just makes things easier so that you don't have to have 50,000 questions about who the final girl is.
I'm sorry for asking questions on our live stream
No, I'm.
commentary.
Oh my god.
Isn't there a case of, and I'm not just talking about something like Nightmare on Elm Street, where the main character changes after the first, 15 minutes or so, but isn't there a case of like you're following a main character in a slasher movie, then they get killed off, and then near the end, someone else is the final girl, or
Yeah, like
Friday
Lila
13th,
in Psych.
2009.
what 2009?
Friday the
Friday the 13th, 2009.
Oh, yeah, you just
to
watched
clarify,
that movie is
Robert,
okay.
I am enjoying the discussion. I'm just saying I think you're overcomplicating things.
Okay, but but it gets complicated when we're not always on the same page.
We're only
Like,
not on the same page because you're overcomplicating.
It
I mean,
doesn't
even,
count as a slasher. That just says monsters.
Psycho, Marion
Yeah,
Crane
I-
is the protagonist up until she dies, and that's like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, I mentioned Lila as being that movie's final girl, but that's also
Yeah.
not a movie about a group of people in one place getting picked off one by one.
Well, and
Which
it's
John
funny
has said what a slasher is.
because we mentioned Nightmare. Nightmare does it twice. Because Nightmare 4 does that too. Where we
Yeah.
have like one person that's like the following character and then they die.
But that's why I brought up Friday the 13th Part 5, Noah, just because I don't know who the main character of that movie is.
It's clearly Tommy.
I don't either, and I love that movie.
He's like a fake out villain for a lot of it.
He is, yeah. He's the red herring.
A lot of that movie is not from his POV. And
Huh?
I'd also argue that in the climax, there's still more focus on Pam and the kid than Tommy's just kind of there. He doesn't do a lot.
I mean, that is the worst Tommy, to be fair.
Oh.
Am I wrong?
You're
No,
not wrong.
but he's fine.
I think the hillbillies are the main characters.
I would watch
So
a
they're
movie about
segment
them.
of the movie. They're great.
But no, to expand on Friday the 13th, I don't know if you remember, but most of that movie, kind of the lead final girl is Danielle Panabaker, and then she's killed at like the very last minute.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that again.
It's pretty good.
I remember liking that movie a lot more than I thought I would.
It is
It's a fun
kind of the
stupendous
perfect
time.
Friday the 13th remake.
And it's the only example I can think of right now of a slasher movie where I preferred the remake over the original.
True.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's not true, Noah. You prefer the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
I mean, that's one way of interpreting my thoughts on that movie, but I
Yeah,
don't-
because remember when we were talking about doing the commentary, like, yeah, because it's so much better than the original. The original is so dumb.
yeah,
I wasn't
don't-
there. Can't
I don't know if I ever said that. Oh, you can't. Come on, Robert, back me up.
No, it's funny. But John, no, it's funny because you keep saying that I'm like overcomplicating this. I just find that funny when you keep contradicting yourself with what a quote-unquote slasher movie is. That's why I find it funny and
Because you
interesting.
keep introducing variables that shouldn't matter. Like, who counts who counts The Descent as a fucking slasher movie?
I think it's
I'm
debatable when you count Alien.
I feel like Alien is pretty widely considered a slasher of some kind.
Is
Sure.
the Descent a slasher?
And I was also like, I'm not even saying I would, because one difference being that The Descent has a bunch of killers and not just one. That's a distinction. But I'd also think, but one example you brought up was like, well, a slasher is about the kills and relishes in the kills, which The Descent does way more than Alien, and most of Alien's kills are off screen.
Why, if I had to be more precise or correct myself, Alien is like a proto slasher, but I still consider it
Yeah.
a slasher.
That's
Right.
fine.
The Descent just doesn't fit that mold. Like, I don't know how to
I-
describe it. There is a slasher mold.
And so do you not? So you're not counting Psycho? You're saying that Psycho doesn't qualify, or do you call
Proto-slasher.
Psycho? Sure. I'm just saying
Most
that's
of
not.
the time when I say proto slasher, I mean anything before the 80s. That's when we make the mold, the finalized like mold for slasher.
Yeah.
Robert, I think you might be the only person that considers The Descent a slasher movie.
I'm not even saying I do.
I'm just looking for people
But-
talking about it online, and I can't really find anything.
Yeah, like I mean, I think of it as a monster movie, but it's also a group of characters trapped in one place, getting picked off one by one, in a movie that relishes in the kills,
Yeah.
that then has a final girl. I'm just saying that it
mean,
fits John's
fair enough.
criteria.
I'm finding just more conversations talking about how it's one of the scariest movies ever made, or
It
the
is.
scariest
Fucked
movies
up.
of the
It's disturbing.
2000s.
It is.
I gotta watch it.
intense. But no, are you gonna watch The Descent 2?
Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll watch that before the first one.
you should. So I don't know. I think you were probably in the chat, but because that movie has two endings: the theatrical cut, which is an early ending, and then the unrated cut, which is like the full ending.
Okay.
So the sequel is just based on the edited down ending.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's like 2 different timelines in that series.
I guess technically, sure. And then, but also, like we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street earlier with Nancy, where obviously we know by 3 that she's alive, until she's not. She's still a main character of that movie. But in the context of that first movie, A, I don't know what's happening, but B, I think you could make the argument that Nancy doesn't survive that first one if you're looking at it as a singular piece. We just decide later that she's alive and bring her back. So, again, I think it's kind of a gray area.
I mean, but that's not really fair since that ending is a mess. Like, I don't know what the fuck's happening in that ending.
Right.
And if you're gonna do that, how many slasher movies end like that, where it's like, oh, the killer's not really dead?
Yeah, but that's more a case of, yeah, she's the final girl, she makes it to the end of the movie. I just don't know if she survives or not. By 3, I know she does, but you have to count that as part of the equation.
All this arguing about slashers and final girls is making me sleepy. I think I gotta get going, guys.
No,
stay.
Don't
You
do
have
it.
to finish Doom.
Well, you guys have to finish Doom. You didn't expect me to be here today, so
well, no,
this was a
now that you're
bonus
here,
for
you
you.
have to stay.
no, that's not true. I gotta get going.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a good rest of the stream, and I'll talk to y'all later.
It was Sunday for
Later.
Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, see ya. Bye-bye.
Well, now that
Jesus.
he's gone.
Ah, fuck that guy.
John, are you winning?
Maybe.
I don't think you've died a lot this stream. That's cool.
A few times. That was half of my cursing. It was less so with you and more with the fucking game.
How close to the end do you think you are?
We were only like 2 or 3 missions away when we left off last time, so. What the fuck?
And then, yeah, earlier Anime Fan mentioned that the Superman, Batman, Public Enemies, and Apocalypse titles had slashes in them, which is true. I also think you just see that a lot more on, like, direct-to-video or made-for-TV stuff for some reason.
You still haven't seen Donnie Darko, have you?
I have not seen Donnie Darko.
I'm gonna show you that at some point.
So you consider that horror?
I
Or just,
consider that psychological thriller.
Okay.
Fuck the rules.
Yeah,
it's my channel.
I don't know a lot of that about. I don't know a lot about that movie. I just know it's popular, and I know some people consider it a superhero movie for some reason. Which
The
all my friends
superhero
take
thing I
umbrage
do
with.
not get, but it's got a little bit of horror to it. It's kind of like a
Okay.
horror dark coming of age.
So show.
What was your he made me watch, by the way? I can't remember.
So we agreed on, because they're both of a similar vein, either Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive or The Sleepwalkers.
Oh yeah, because if we could
Um,
get Noah on there, we wanted to do Maximum Overdrive.
Right. So that'll be next Friday,
Yeah.
or a week from tomorrow. So I'm fine with either. Whichever one works out.
No, tomorrow is The Last of Us.
Yay! The first half. My goal is the first 5 episodes. That's a good chunk of that show to get. I think it's doable, and then it'll make the follow-up stream a lot easier. Because those will be like quick, breezy 40-minute episodes.
Yeah, because they rush the fuck out of it.
I don't think so. I think the finale could have been a little longer, but I also wouldn't call it rushed.
I also haven't watched that since it aired, so
That'll be fun. But also, like, the entire David episode, I think, is great and a good.
Everything's pretty good. And I do remember that being an improvement where they like tied together more so like the people hunting. What's that guy's name? Henry.
Yeah, Henry and Sam.
Yeah, like
That
they
that
give them
kinda
an
got
actual
stretched.
motivation other than their video game bad guys.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun to discuss. We'll have plenty of time to talk about it.
Don't worry, folks. You can get the full hour-long argument on why episode 3 is bad.
I like it. A lot of people like it. It was a very popular episode. I think I'll understand your perspective as to why you didn't like it, and why it's your favorite. I won't agree that that makes the episode bad by judging it on its own terms.
Crispy
Yeah, you
Kreme motherfucker.
Are you still shooting monsters?
Man, is Doom a slasher?
Is this game's kind of repetitive?
I mean, it kind of is. I love it, but like,
Yeah, it gives you what you paid for.
it's true.
Do you think this game, just in your opinion, is designed to be like binged in a couple sittings, or is it a game you see as something you just kind of pick up for a little bit every once in a while? Just based on your experience.
Yeah, I don't think this binges well because the narrative is kind of super thin, and I don't mean that as an insult. Like that's not what this is here for. You're here to pick the game up, shoot shit, and then go do something else. Oh god. Ow.
Yeah, to me it seems like, oh, I have a free hour, I'll spend it just shooting some monsters for a bit, and then move on to the next thing. Like, when I go back to something like The Last of Us, you know, I'll usually do that over a couple days.
Ow.
Is this a boss battle?
Yeah, did you see the big ass health bar?
Oh, that's his health. I just thought that was his dick. That's my bad.
Oh, wait.
Well, this game's taking a turn.
Oh, Jesus. So Robert, when are you going to stream the Doom game for us to all watch?
That'll be in 2029. Stay tuned.
Why? It's not your fault, Robert.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what have you been watching this week?
What have I been watching this week? I caught up on Daredevil. Episode 6 is pretty good. I might have liked it more than 5.
Caught up on Invincible.
Oh, no shit. Like, fully caught up?
I am fully caught up.
So season 3's over now?
Yes.
How does it currently stand for you? How are you feeling?
I really like it.
Did you like 3 more than 2? I feel like everyone says that 2 is a step down. But I don't know.
Okay, so here's the thing. One is kind of a traditional superhero season of television. It's like, oh, here's this arc, and like we're gonna do this over the course of the season. Because the comic is like that too, where we kind of have like a background story going. But in the comics and in the show, once that ends, it really just becomes kind of a slice of life for Mark as a teenage superhero. So season 2 feels really unfocused because it's just like a bunch of different things he's doing. So I didn't think it was a step down, but it is less focused if that's what you're looking for.
Gotcha. I've also heard that the animation gets worse over the course of the show, which surprises me because it took so long, but I don't know, you may disagree.
I don't know. I didn't notice it. I thought it was fine. Serviceable. And I know people were complaining about the 3 finale, but I thought it was really good.
Oh, interesting.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan voices the bad guy. He's great.
Oh, of course. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That show did get a lot of Walking Dead Kirkman alumni, which is pretty cool.
It is kind of unfortunate that they're stuck in the middle of the multiverse stuff, just because where we are. Yeah.
But I assume that's all from the comic.
Yeah.
So they're just sticking to it.
Because like this season, one of the big threats he faces is an army of evil invincibles across the multiverse. And it's that Doctor Strange show thing of like, oh, he's the only good one. They all go bad. But that shit was more like cool in the early 2000s.
It's a pretty big staple of comic books, but that's because when we do in comic books, it's not exclusively gimmicks for bringing back old actors. Which can be fun. I'm not against it, but when that's all your only idea and what we keep doing over and over again, then yeah. I understand getting sick of it real quick.
I don't remember this boss, and he's really starting to piss me off.
Oh, another thing I watched this week. I finally watched The Menu.
It was okay.
It's pretty good.
I watched that Odessa movie.
What is that?
That is a musical starring Sadie Sink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you thought it looked interesting. You thought it looked cool. And
Yeah,
kind of whatever about it.
It wasn't.
Oh, well. Well, it's a Hulu movie. It's kind of a coin toss.
Yeah.
And then Prey comes out, and we're like, oh my god. That was like the best Predator sequel.
Yeah.
I had kind of written that off. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably gonna suck. And it was really good.
No, yeah. I bought the 4K. I still haven't watched it. I mean, I've seen the movie. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Then we have...
I want you to do it. I want you to do it.
Hit me.
Oh, God. We need to cover that movie soon.
Yeah, we should. We have a unrelated standalone Predator movie coming out and another secret one. Both this year, maybe?
Oh yeah, I forgot they're doing 2 of those.
Yeah, and there's one that's... we just don't know what it is yet.
It'll be
weird.
Shane Black's Predators 2.
No. That he made the Predator, John.
Sorry, the Predator 2.
Not to be confused with Predator 2.
No, I am so sick of that trope where we just add the to the title.
The Suicide Squad.
I don't even like it there because it confuses me when I'm talking about.
You have to say James Gunn's The Suicide Squad for people that know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
or Suicide Squad, what was it, 2021?
Yeah. But that was the COVID wasteland times, so like I never remember what year any of those movies came out during. Anime fans said that if they ever reboot Game of Thrones, Sadie Sink should play Sansa Stark. She'll be too old. That's not happening. She's already in her 20s.
We won't reboot that for another 20 years anyway.
Yeah, they've got all their spin-offs and prequels right now, and House of the Dragon's really good, so they can keep
Weren't
the
people
quality
like
up
really
for a
upset with the last season?
They were, but for unfair reasons. That season just got cut short because of the strikes. So people are like, "Oh, this ended abruptly. It didn't have a strong ending." It's like, yeah, like that's why it has less episodes than the first season. It just kind of stops. But if season 3 is great, then people come around fast. It'll be fine. It also helps that they are working with finished, complete source material, so if you know the books, you at least know where it's going. Yeah, anime fan just have to agree to disagree. I don't think Suicide Squad 2016 holds up at all. Just the editing and the music choices are just so bad. There might have been a good movie in there. I wouldn't mind seeing the Air cut, but I thought that movie was just a mess. There's pieces I like. I like some of those casting choices. But in the theater, though, like that big CGI villain, I was like, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen on the big screen.
No,
Like,
I remember watching it because I was so excited because I was a big DCE vendor. I was like, something's wrong.
I was excited for it.
I'm bored. You've got to
Yeah.
be fucking kidding me.
But yeah, just that was before the weird.
Seriously?
The whole, like, this is getting out of hand now. There are two of them. That was before the whole Steppenwolf fiasco with Justice League, where it's like, why is the CGI on this villain so bad? This looks unfinished. And then we find out later, oh, it was. This Steppenwolf did look a lot better in the second cut. I don't know why they spent all that money redoing his scenes and changing his designs to make him look that bad.
Look at the Doom mission list and see where the Necropolis lies in
Necropolis?
the ending.
I'm Nick Necropolis from Godzilla,
When are we
played
covering
by
that
Matthew
movie?
Broderick. Whenever. I don't hate that movie.
I think people overblow how bad it is.
Yeah, and I haven't seen enough of the old Godzilla movies to like properly compare. I'd be surprised if going through all of them, my takeaway would be that it's the worst one, because it's probably not, if you're gonna be objective.
Probably.
I mean, the old Godzilla movies I've seen, I have liked. You know, I haven't seen most of that franchise, so I can't say. But as just a dumb, big monster movie, I think it's watchable. So are you just looking for tips on, like, the boss fight?
No, I just want to see how close we are to the ending.
Oh, okay. Well, according to this, are you still on mission 11? Because you got 2 more to go after this.
You said the Necropolis. I don't know.
Well, apparently, if Google AI can be believed, Necropolis is from the Crucible chapter, which is mission 11.
Well,
So
look, IGN walkthrough. There's a mission list.
Good God, like, I'm just telling you what I'm reading.
For life in Google AI.
Okay, Doom Guide, IGN. Okay, well, according to this, it's the Necropolis, and there's 2 more to go after. If the IGN one is to be believed.
Trust them
So, yeah, I
more
don't
than
know if
Google AI. Take that for what you will.
Good job, IGN. You have some credibility in certain circumstances.
Will Johnson could play both Doctor Doom and Doomsday to reference Doom. Yes, reference that 20-year-old movie that I have one thing.
I'll put all the Dooms in there.
There are dozens of us.
Doom. You can do it.
Glory kill, let's go. Oh god. Have you seen Evolution?
The film Evolution. I have not. Was that... When was that movie? 20...
Late 90s,
2000?
very early 2000s. It's Ghostbusters, but with aliens.
Oh, that movie. What was I thinking of? Okay, so yeah, that was that Ivan Reitman picture. What do you think of Evolution?
I like it. I think it's pretty fun.
And your boy David Duchovny. Oh, it's also got Sean William Scott.
Robert, I'm gonna take a 5 minute break, stretch, and get a drink. If you want to do the same, feel free. We will
No,
be right
sounds
back,
good.
chat.
We'll be right back after these messages. If you're still in the live chat, thanks for watching. Good to see people here. As we play some Doom. Might not finish it today. Might be a good chunk of game left. Might
We're
take another
finishing
week.
it.
We shall see. Agree to disagree. No, on Geekvolution, they're doing the Hot Fuzz commentary tonight, and I don't want to miss that. But that's starting in, like, I don't know, 45 minutes. So, we get there.
I've seen that movie in a minute.
I don't think we'll finish, though, if we have 2 more missions to go.
Really don't want to go for another week.
Vega. Do you remember what mission we started on? How many missions have we done today?
You have the crucible.
I am Vega.
With it, the means to contain the power of the well. We have a plan to send you there. Vega will walk you through the process.
This is my primary operating facility. It is where I was created and where my core processing unit is maintained. It takes approximately 2.4 terawatts of power to sustain my operational capabilities, but it has been decided that we can use that power to send you to the source of the portal. I will not
John, say something for a minute. I'm not sure if YouTube's picking you
so
up.
I will walk you through the process.
So,
All interior and
Could be.
exterior facilities have been secured. You need to begin by finding a way in and disabling the security systems. My security systems operate on 2 separate neural networks that terminate in this maintenance facility. Each termination point is protected by an electrified field, but you should survive the surge.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little, but you sound mostly fine. It's probably just the audio of the game. But earlier asked if there were any final girls who died. I did think of an example. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning, the prequel to the remake. Jordana Brewster's the final girl in that movie, but she doesn't get killed at the end. Because it's a prequel, so she has to.
ooh,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that movie. It'd be interesting to revisit the channel at some point. I don't know
just
how I'd
in,
rank. She was. It was nice to see her again. I like her in those Fast and Furious movies. That's what I know of them. We definitely should do more on Texas Chainsaw at some point.
you
That's
say
just not a
more
very good franchise.
Fast and Furious. It's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Well, yeah. We'll start our Fast and Furious channel.
Ah. We need 3 of those movies that are worth going back to.
That is also true for Texas Chainsaw. Debatably.
Well, we already covered the
Three or
best
four.
one with 3D.
What? Do you ever wish we got that sequel? What does?
Yes.
What does that Alexandra Daddario Leatherface team up movie look like?
It looked like Pete.
Your thing, cuz. That's the problem with most of those Leatherface movies, is they just kind of shoot themselves in the foot at the end, and it's like, where do you go with this in a sequel? I don't know. The remake, we cut his arm off. I don't know, let's do a prequel. And then we're done.
The shame with that sequel, or remake, because I think a sequel could have been interesting. Like, that's where you bring in like the family
This will
element.
accelerate the destabilization process.
Yeah. Well, and that is part of the reason for the prequel, though, is that remake does have Arlie Ermy, who's amazing, but that movie kills him. So a prequel at least gave them an excuse to bring him back, so that's nice.
Yeah, and it's got Chloe Decker from Lucifer.
Oh.
5 seconds.
Oh.
He's the girl that shoots herself at the beginning of the remake.
Oh. These monsters are in pain, and you're exploiting that?
Well,
Just making pets. Yeah, teach him how to do tricks.
hey, Tim.
Earlier today, I watched a pretty fun video from a popular channel called Herbeck. And it was talking about the Spy, not just the Spy Kids movies, but that whole kids spy subgenre craze from the 2000s. And it was really fun. Just kind of breaking down, like, oh yeah, this is how that trend started, and yeah, it was a trend.
I was a big fan
That's-
of the Alex Rider books as a kid. And
Oh,
they royally
yeah.
fucked up the movie, you know.
Oh, yeah, that one was even mentioned. One they talked about was that Agent Cody Banks movie, which I don't think I ever saw.
Loved that movie as a kid too. I had it on DVD.
I've heard it's weird, but I haven't watched it. Yeah, I used to think that was like a TV movie, just because I feel like I remember seeing it like on reruns on like the Disney Channel or something, but no, it was theatrical. Yeah, I don't know if you'll think it holds up or not, but it's weird. Also, I haven't really seen it. We've seen parts of it. But yeah, that... I just find stuff like that interesting when you... Speaking for my generation, things you don't really think of as a trend because you were just growing up and that's just what was on. And then you look back on it in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, we were really into that for a minute.
Like what? Like, because I can think of like Spy Kids, Cody Banks, and the Alex Rider books, but what else was coming out around the time that fits that trend?
Totally Spies, which I never
Oh
watched.
yeah, I never watched that, so I forgot about it.
Kim Possible's probably the most popular of those.
Yeah,
I talk about Kim
that's a weird one though because it's more of a superhero thing.
Yeah, it's like a spy superhero-ish. But we blend those genres a lot, especially at that time. Also, like, you know, The Incredibles is a superhero movie, but there is a lot of spy stuff in that movie.
Unlike everything else in your life, your work here matters.
Let's see that. Oh, and then you were probably too old for this one. Codename Kids Next Door was a pretty
It's
popular
not.
one.
I forgot about that. I was obsessed with that show.
I remember it looking cool. I don't think I watched much of it, but it looked good. And yeah, that was a big one. I just don't remember like how kiddie it was, but I mean I haven't. It'd be a fun thing to go back to. And yeah, Kim Possible was really popular, and yeah, I remember
I love Kim Possible, like unironically.
Did you love the live action Disney movie?
No.
Did you ever watch Party That, or have you just not watched it?
No, I watched it by myself because I didn't think anybody else would want to watch it. And I had just recently went through the series.
Oh.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
Oh. Do you think that's a dead property or something they should revisit? Do something else with?
Honestly, I would love a new Kim Possible thing, but I don't trust them to not fuck it up.
Yeah. But what you're saying is a low-budget, made-for-TV live-action movie's probably not the right way to go.
That is correct, Commander.
Also, I had this epiphany earlier that I never thought about before. Not saying that these movies were looking at each other at all. I was just like, oh, there is a lot of Spy Kids in The Incredibles in that setup. Like, they're very different movies, but it's the
when you have the spy kind of spy trope
Yeah.
with kids involved.
yeah, where it's two like in their prime, retire, get married, have kids, and then the kids join in on the adventure. And it's like, oh, it's similar.
Destroy each of the 4 coolant generators. Once the
And Spy Kids, that at least that first one I still think is pretty good. Like, it's obviously dated. I think that's a solid.
The first two hold up really well for what they are.
Two has a lot more bad CGI than the first one does. I will say that.
No, but I don't know. That doesn't mean, for me, that isn't like a deal breaker.
Sure. By 3, we go full Attack of the Clones.
What are we doing?
For that whole movie's on. I was so hyped for 3, dude, and then I just never saw it. And then I caught it on TV like a couple years later. I was like, yeah, I'm getting too old for this. This is a bummer.
I saw it in theaters,
Jealous.
and I liked
That's a
it at the
childhood
time.
experience I'll never get back, John.
I liked
I
it
had
at the
Happy Meal
time,
toys for it.
and I do think it is like watchable in a so bad it's good way.
It's got Sylvester Stallone. That's
Yeah,
pretty
he's
awesome.
great.
That first movie just feels so like small and quaint compared to where we get to by 3. But that first movie I watched religiously because I had on VHS. Like, I watched it.
Put it on. So it's funny because I had the first one on VHS on DVD, but the second one on VHS tape. I don't know why.
Oh, weird. I think
But
I had,
as a
like,
kid, I
cousin
preferred the
or
first
aunt.
one.
Oh, weird. Yeah, that first movie I just watched so much. And not like literally the perfect time for me because my sister is just a little bit older than I am, and we both moved to that movie and watched it like religiously. That's the other thing they talk about in that video is what was cool about that era, at least those cartoons, was how accessible they were to everybody in terms of like boys and girls and different
What the hell?
demographics. Like, it's just it just feels like we're still weirdly stuck in this time again of like trying really hard to make movies like, don't worry, it has a strong female character, and we gotta appeal to that demographic. And in some cases, we used to do it so much more effortlessly.
Thinking it.
Yeah, just stop overthinking it. Like, Spy Kids was not exclusively for boys or girls. Like, just any kid could watch it and enjoy it, you know?
Because we've gotten into our heads that the way to make a strong female protagonist is by making a protagonist that has no problems or concerns. She just wanders through the plot until the movie's over. Boring.
Yeah, which, and to be fair, we are getting away from that.
Yeah.
Certainly. But
But
it still feels
back
like
in the day, we made characters. If it was a woman, then it was a woman. Like,
and you really saw that a lot though with like ensemble things in the 2000s, like Teen Titans. Like, there was an appeal to everybody. It didn't feel like it was overcompensating. And then, or in your case, like Kim Possible, like that's a show with the main female character that everybody liked and thought was cool. And then,
in fact,
similar to...
I would argue the most subversive thing about that is the fact that the guy is the incompetent sidekick.
Yeah, and that's fun.
Yeah.
And also,
well, and their names, because I don't know if you remember, but because she's Kim Possible and he's Ron Stoppable.
Yeah. Like Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
And what sucks about
Except
like
Ron
our
Stoppable
modern...
is better. You know who real quick, sorry, you know who voices him?
I don't remember.
Will Friedle, who is
lot.
Batman Beyond.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know he had that role. It's awesome.
No, he's
So
great in that
what's-
role.
Oh yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, I should go back. I should go back to Kim Possible because I never saw much of it, but it was really popular.
You should. It's good, and I think it ends well.
Oh, that's nice. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Complete series.
The last season is fun. Mild spoilers for a 20-year-old show, because they do a movie that's like a lead into the final season, and that sets up that Ron and Kim are dating now. So that last season kind of gets to explore that dynamic of like she's the really cool, like, popular girl, and he's the nerd that isn't really good at much. But like, they're friends, you know. Like,
right.
she's
And
loyal to
maybe-
him before anything else.
Yeah, maybe the movie was what I caught on TV when I was a kid because it does sound familiar.
Yeah, because I remember when that movie came out because it was a made-for-TV animated film. That was the big thing that they were teasing, was like, you know, are Kim and Ron gonna get together?
Yeah, and what all I was saying was what sucks with our modern culture and grifters and shit though is if that show comes out now, you'd see so many dude bros complaining about it, like, why does the male character have to be weak and stupid and clumsy? So this show hate,
The thing
man.
was, his clumsiness was a joke, but it was never like at his expense. Like, the show also goes to goes out of their way to make you know Kim needs him along. Like, she values him. Villains like a monkey that does kung fu. Monkey.
And then, you know, like the Powerpuff Girls was really good. And now over 20 years later, we're still really struggling to make female-centric superhero stuff for some reason.
I don't know. That CW show looked like it was going to be peak.
So sad. That looked like such an amazing dumpster fire. Ah, I hope that pilot gets leaked someday. Just so Cap has to watch it. Selfishly, I'm like, oh, it sucks that never went to TV because that means Cap doesn't have to watch it and review it.
The frame rate.
Frame rate, Ellie, the frame rate.
Seriously. God damn it!
Yeah, that's same anime fan. Yeah, I watched so many of those 2000s Cartoon Network shows, and a lot of them are really good. Totally Spies is just one I missed for some reason. Whatever network that was on.
Cartoon Network.
Maybe. On Nickelodeon, there was wasn't really a spy thing, but I remember liking My Life as a Teenage Robot. I don't know if you ever saw that.
That too.
I don't know if it holds up, but I remember liking it.
Man.
Anime fan mentioned the She-Ra show on Netflix. I've heard it's really good. And he's really liked it.
I've not seen it, but I'm fairly sure.
I'm also not like a big He-Man guy. He-Man's like Power Rangers for me. It's a thing I thought was cool when I was a kid, but I also didn't see much of it.
And that's another show. There's one or two strong female characters in every season of Power Rangers, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Hell, the leader of Time Force is a woman.
You're saying it was woke?
Yes. They made the Red Ranger a woman, folks. We can't have that.
We can't have that. Do you think killing Lewis in RoboCop 3 was a mistake?
I think RoboCop 3 was a mistake.
I was gonna follow up question. Do you think many mistakes were made?
Many mistakes were made. Well, what's weird with killing Lois is that's a holdover from Frank Miller's RoboCop 2.
Right.
And that only happens because that actress knew that the movie was going to be shit.
Yeah, and wanted out.
Yeah.
Lewis as a RoboCop could have been fun. I don't know.
Yeah, the only problem with that, and it's a problem with every sequel after RoboCop 2, we have to do another RoboCop.
Yeah.
Because there's that
3
TV...
has cyborg ninjas?
3 has cyborg ninjas. 2 then there's that made-for-TV miniseries that I would love to rewatch. It's just like Lost to Time. Prime Directives, which literally just has.
One?
No, this is the only, as far as I'm aware, live-action TV miniseries.
Okay, so because I think there was also a TV show that was.
There's a Canadian TV
Canceled.
show, but I'm just talking miniseries.
Right.
Called Prime Directive, and that literally has a second RoboCop. In fact, if you Google it, it's just RoboCop with a different color.
Oh.
Who happens to be his new partner.
Go us.
In fact, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, I'm looking it up. RoboCop.
Prime Directives.
Oh, so is the other RoboCop? Is it just black?
Just that suit painted black. I mean, like, it looked cool. But it's just like, that's the only idea that we have going forward.
But my reaction was like, wait, he looks more like the movie reboot RoboCop, or remake RoboCop. Were they inspired by RoboCop Prime Directives when they were making the remake?
I hope so. But that would mean that anybody involved with that movie had seen RoboCop.
I still haven't seen it. I've still only seen the first
Not
2.
good.
No.
We'll watch
Well,
RoboCop 3 with you. I can get some enjoyment out of it, like on a fun level.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can sit through the remake.
I know there's like one unironically funny scene It's like a boardroom scene where a bunch of characters just start killing themselves, jumping out the window. I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. That sounds like Robo. And like one guy just pulls out a gun and like off screen you just hear the gunshot. Oh my god. Anime fan says he still hasn't seen RoboCop. You should. It's a great movie.
It's a family picture.
It is a family picture.
And that there's a family in it.
Kind of. Yeah, I also just know that 3 brings back the main theme from the first one. That's nice. Because the music in RoboCop 2 kind of sucks.
Yeah. 3 has
Good
one
movie, though.
scene that I do like, which is funnily enough, I think I've told this story before, but I had RoboCop 2 on VHS tape. And there was a trailer for 3 before the movie. And the trailer is just that scene.
Oh, hell yeah.
On YouTube, pull up RoboCop 3. Anybody call for backup?
You called for backup.
You called for backup? That's the scene that would play in front of RoboCop 2, and I figured out when I was older it's because that's the only good scene in the movie.
What was RoboCop? When did you first see RoboCop 3? Was it an instant disappointment?
It wasn't an instant disappointment. I see that because it's a few years later. I found it at like a half price books or something on VHS. I was like, oh, hey, finally. And I was like, I think I like this, but like, I don't know, something's missing. And then I watch it again when I'm older, and I'm like, oh God.
No.
What have they done? God fucking damn it. Is Hot Fuzz streaming, by the way?
Sorry, what?
Is Hot Fuzz streaming?
I don't. It might be on Peacock. Let me check.
Peacock?
Peacock. Do you just own Shaun of the Dead?
No, I've got that trilogy, remember?
Oh, okay.
I just don't want to pull
So
it
you-
out if I don't have to.
No, it's not currently streaming for free.
Maybe I have it on. Yeah,
Because you did get that 4K of Shaun of the Dead, right? Or were you
no,
just
I
doing
didn't.
it? Okay.
Because I had it pre-ordered and then I lost my job.
Oh, but yeah.
But
That was.
God damn it! But I do have I have that 4K trilogy that I showed you.
Gotcha.
Because I'm nervous to get that 20th anniversary edition if the rumors are true. They fucked it up, Robert.
You maniacs.
You ruined it. When are we gonna start our RoboCop channel?
in 2027.
Hell yeah, that's soon.
Yeah, you guys in the live chat can hold us to it. Just remind us in 2 years. I set a date so that we have to do it. So is the Rogue City game getting a sequel or just DLC?
DLC. However, it is also coming to PS Plus next month.
Ooh.
So if I were you, I would grab it so that when you get a PS5, you have it.
That is a good idea.
Oh my fucking god!
Robocop. The music and sound effects have too much testosterone.
Do you think this game is the anti-woke? Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, I don't know if there's really a great, like, stopping point here, but I'm gonna request that we wrap this up in like 5 minutes. Well, I'm leaving either way.
Ya bastard. If I die again in this room, I'll quit.
If you die again tomorrow forever. Yeah, like even Jimmy Neutron, you know, like that's not a spy show, but it has a lot of those tropes with the gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that was also just
I
the
love
period where
Jimmy
we were
Neutron.
doing like, the adventure with kids thing.
Yeah, which, you know, they talked about Spy Kids really kicking off.
Like, I
And,
mean,
of course,
that first
you know,
movie,
Harry
that first
Potter.
Spy Kids movie is less of a Spy Kids thing, or less of a spy thing, more just an adventure movie with spies.
Right.
Like the actual spying is minimal.
There's very little espionage in that picture.
Do you think it was mismarketed?
Oh. Well, I mean, you know, James Bond's the most famous spy, but spies in real life typically don't, you know, engage in combat or tell everybody their effing name. That usually goes against what being a spy is, James.
Are you saying that James Bond is a code name? Fucking bastards!
Oh god. You blew it up. God damn you.
Alright.
God damn you all to hell.
Since Robert's throwing his...
And you're cutting out.
Alright, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We'll finish this next week because Robert's a bit